Famous people and celebrities often live their lives under a media microscope and significant public scrutiny. Sometimes the celebrities themselves share more than they should, but for our purposes, celebrities provide a single point of reference by which we can see if these astrological insights really add up. Is the astrology real, or is it just a bunch of junk?
The stars were here many years before us, and they'll be here many years after we're gone. We study the stars so that you can be free to uncover mysteries and unlock your destiny.
Hello, and welcome to Masters of the Zodiac, where we explore astrology, uncover mysteries, and ultimately seek to help you unlock your destiny. This episode is part of a series of videos which introduces you to what should be considered as the ABCs of astrology. These are the keys to astrology, and today we're going to take a deeper dive and look more closely at birth charts. You can't call yourself a master of the zodiac without mastering these skills. So let's look at the case of some Scorpio celebrities all born on October 28th as a point of comparison. Let's also take a look at someone born on the opposite side of the zodiac in Taurus. For our celebrity Scorpios, let's look at the musical artist Frank Ocean. Let's look at Academy Award winning actors Julia Roberts and Joaquin Phoenix. Let's look at billionaire Bill Gates, and let's look at gold medal Olympian Bruce or reality TV star Caitlyn Jenner. Then for the point of comparing charts, let's include a celebrity Taurus. Let's include the superstar Janet Jackson, born under Taurus, to round out this exercise. Okay, it's ladies first here at Masters of the Zodiac, so let's start with the birth chart of Janet Jackson. According to reports that are available on the internet, Janet was born on May 16, 1966 in Gary, Indiana of the United States of America. So Janet is a Taurus, and here at Masters of the Zodiac, we say that Taurus is best summarized as being the stable centralist, the one and only fixed earth sign of the zodiac. Dependably stable, but inflexibly stubborn. So in astrological terms, Taurus is the opposite sign of Scorpio. The signs are exactly 6 months apart, or 180 degrees, and both signs sit on opposite ends of a birth chart. So you could say that the signs are in opposition to each other. Right off the bat, we would see that Janet's sun sign is in Taurus as expected. If we didn't have any other information about Janet, then we would at least know that her sun sign is there in Taurus. But what about all the other planets and features? Where would that information come from? Well, with her place of birth being Gary, Indiana, we would know the precise coordinates of her position on Earth at birth, which would be somewhere in the ballpark of 42 degrees latitude north of the equator by negative 87 degrees of longitude west of the prime meridian. Right now, the outstanding piece of information that we would need is Janet's time of birth. And the best available time of birth provided on the internet right now is 7 p.m. on the dot. The accuracy of that time is in question, but that's what we'll go with today. Okay, if we go with that time, then now we can see that the whole chart is set. Immediately we see that Janet's ascendant is in Scorpio. How you like those apples? Surprise, surprise. By having her rising sign in Scorpio, it makes sense that Janet exhibits some of the key Scorpio traits. Janet is known for being patient, discerning, and powerful. Yet she has allowed herself to be vulnerable when necessary to get what she wants. So Scorpio is Janet's rising sign, if that 7 p.m. hour is accurate. We'll also see that most of the planets are within 3 signs nearly touching in conjunction with her sun in Taurus. Planets that are 4 signs or 120 degrees apart are considered typically beneficial signs because they would share the same element of earth, wind, fire, or water. There's a special name for these aspects. These planets are said to trine or trine with each other. Planets that are at least 1 sign apart or 30 degrees apart may require some effort on your part to achieve a goal. These planets are said to be sextiles of each other, and planets that are 180 degrees are way on the other side of the chart and are said to be concerning. These planets would be in opposition with each other. So that's Janet's chart. So all in all, what does Janet's chart say about her? It says a lot, and more than we'll have time to cover here in this video. But let's take note of a few key attributes that are quite obvious. Janet's moon is in Aries. That's where Janet's emotions are. And it means that she's action-oriented, but definitely has a need for independence. Janet's got to be the one in control. As one of her albums and songs might say, Janet's got to be the one in control. Plus, Janet has a strong confidence within herself that she's her own worst critic and must compete with herself to grow. So with respect to her moon being in Aries, it's clear that Janet definitely has a brave, catalyst sensibility. One of Janet's greatest achievements was her album Rhythm Nation. It was a phenomenal album that would be a catalyst for other great music in the 1990s, and an album that has withstood the test of time in certain respects. So that's a quick look at Janet. Now let's proceed to the Scorpios, where we'll start with Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts was born on October 28th, 1967, just a bit after midnight in Atlanta, Georgia. By virtue of being born at that time and place, we find that Julia's ascendant is set in Cancer. So it's no surprise that Julia has a desire to care for others and is motivated by her feelings, as evidenced in her roles that she chose to play in her large catalog of work over the years. We also unsurprisingly see that her moon is in Leo, which lends itself very well to being a creative performer. Given Julia's blockbuster box office success and Academy Award-winning achievement, it makes sense that she's got that Leo edge too. In terms of aspects in her chart, we see that Julia's moon and planet Neptune have a square aspect. This square aspect would suggest an inner struggle exists between Julia's imagination and her emotions. However, it may have helped to bring out the necessary emotions needed to achieve her performances, her acting performances. Next up, we have the singer, songwriter, producer, and enigma, Frank Ocean. Frank was born in Long Beach, California on October 28th, 1987, about 20 years after Julia at 7:14 in the morning. Given the time and place, we learned that Frank's rising sign is actually Scorpio, just like Janet's. For Frank, that's like doubling down on Scorpio. And it's kind of scary, but yet very successful. Unlike Janet, we see that Frank's moon is in Capricorn, which is known to be the steady structurer. Frank definitely has been known to take his time and draw out his musical releases. Other astrologers might agree that Frank would definitely take breaks whenever he feels like it. His creative juices weren't flowing, so we know that Frank will take a break until he gets everything right, at least in his own mind. And that's what a steady structurer does. That's Capricorn. In terms of aspects, we see that Frank's moon is squared with Jupiter, thus implying that his ability to grow and expand would be limited by his Capricornian discipline and restraint. Next up, we have another enigmatic figure, none other than a recent first-time Academy Award winner, Joaquin Phoenix. According to internet reports, Joaquin was born in San Juan, Puerto Rico at 2:55 a.m. in the morning. So think what you will about Joaquin. One thing you cannot say is that Joaquin isn't full of quirks and idiosyncrasies. Some of Joaquin's finest roles have been him playing villains, or no matter whether it's the Joker or in The Gladiator, being a villain comes naturally to him. And Joaquin succeeds in transforming himself as needed to deliver the performances that he needs to deliver. No surprise, Joaquin's ascendant sign is also in Virgo, which we know to be as the thoughtful analyst. So it makes sense that Joaquin analyzes the characters that he portrays very well. One of his earliest Oscar nominations was for playing Johnny Cash in Walk the Line, and clearly a lot of study went into preparing for that role for Joker. However, like Janet Jackson, Joaquin's moon is in Aries. Again, he's very action-oriented, independent, and unafraid to go it alone. So there's no surprise there. In terms of aspects, again, we have another performer with a lot of squares in his chart. See the red lines? We see that Neptune is square with Jupiter, which implies that there are some conflicting desires between Joaquin's imagination and his need to expand, grow, and prosper. That aspect of his chart might explain the period in Joaquin's life where he apparently retired from acting for several years. Next up, we have someone who for many years was the world's richest man. Today he is known as the world's most generous philanthropist, none other than Bill Gates. Bill Gates was born on October 28, 1955 in Seattle, Washington at 10 p.m. Immediately we see that Bill's ascendant rising sign is in Cancer, just like Julia Roberts. So they would both share a desire to care for others and be driven by their feelings to a certain extent. An initial reading of Bill's chart definitely aligns with all of the work that he has done with his foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and the Billionaires Pledge Program, where the world's wealthiest have vowed to leave the majority of their wealth to important humanitarian causes. However, all of this is to say that feelings are nice, but Let's not get it twisted. Bill in his early days was the true definition of a Scorpio and defined by his leadership and conquest as the CEO of Microsoft. Bill Gates literally was that idealistic transformer who was partly responsible for there being a computer in almost everyone's home. But his intensity was also tempered by the fact that he had a business mentality and desire to control it all, namely the internet. Bill Gates wanted to own and monopolize the internet, but antitrust forces arose to protect society and the world from an internet explorer monopoly. It should also come as no surprise that, like Janet Jackson and Joaquin Phoenix, Bill's moon is in Aries. Bill has been very much action-oriented throughout his life, which speaks to his level of success. For many years, he had only himself to compete with, being the richest person in the world. Lastly, we have a man born Bruce Jenner, a world-class athlete and gold medal Olympian, who meets the full definition of a Scorpio by being an idealistic transformer. We know Bruce Jenner as an idealistic transformer because today we know him not only as the parent of Kylie and Kendall Jenner, but most importantly, Bruce Jenner is now known as Caitlyn Jenner to the immediate world. Let's hurry up to this chart and to see if we can make some sense of it all. Bruce Jenner was born in Mount Kisco, New York on October 28, 1949. His time of birth was apparently 6:16 in the morning. And with that time of birth and at that place on earth, Bruce's ascendant rising sign was, drumroll, Scorpio. Yes, you got it. So just like Frank Ocean, we see that Bruce Caitlyn shares the same rising sign as his sun sign. It's like they both double down on Scorpio, and the result is fascinating. There's definitely some major dynamic in play here that deserves more exploration, and that's what we seek to do here at Masters of the Zodiac. We explore astrology, we uncover mysteries, and we unlock destinies. Janet's ascendant is in Scorpio too, and Janet is beloved and has a very strong following in the LGBTQ community. But of course, Janet is a Taurus. Frank and Bruce Caitlyn are known LGBTQ figures, and the correlation to their ascendant sign deserves much more analysis than we can give in this video. One of the notable aspects of Bruce's birth chart is that his sun is square with his moon. This implies that Bruce may have struggled with his self-appearance emotionally from a very early age. We also see that Caitlyn's moon is in Aquarius. By having your moon in Aquarius, it simply means that Bruce Caitlyn definitely had a level of detachment that was necessary for him to figure himself out. But clearly Aquarius is the friendly futurist, and everything that Bruce did to ideally transform himself into Caitlyn proves that an Aquarius moon provided an astrological tendency to embrace the future, for him to embrace his future self, who Caitlyn Jenner is today. Caitlyn was also aided by the fact that her sun, her self-appearance, or how she looks, is in trine with Uranus, the planet of upheaval and the unexpected. So you could say that there were some automatic benefits associated with that aspect and Bruce's public persona as he transitioned into Caitlyn. Read into the charts what you will. So that's a quick run through of how to read birth charts. That's been a deeper dive into birth charts. Hope that you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't done so already, please share, comment, like, and subscribe to this channel. We want to invite you to continue this odyssey of understanding the keys to astrology. The next video up is a brief history of astrology. Is astrology real or fake? This next video gives a historic overview of astrology and leaves it to you to decide for yourself whether astrology is real or fake. Don't miss it. And as always, we want to encourage you to visit our website at mzods.com for free reports that are specifically tailored to you and designed to meet your needs. Just sign up at mzods.com to receive your free report today. And by signing up, you'll also be eligible for special contests, prizes, and giveaways that may occur from time to time. So don't miss out. Stop waiting. Start doing. At Masters of the Zodiac, we track the best of the best astrologers and apps that are available. If you've had a great experience with an astrologer or an astrology app, let us know. If you've had a bad or horrible experience, let us know. Drop comments here or on YouTube, or drop them at mzods.com, where you'll find a treasure trove of insights and reviews about the best astrologers and astrology apps on the market. And also, don't forget to show your Zodiac pride. You'll find some of the best gear to let the world know exactly who you are based on your Zodiac sign. Yes, visit our online store at mzods.com for the best Zodiac swag on the internet, and check back periodically for the latest updates. So until next time, please stay safe and have an excellent journey on this adventure that we call life. Until next time, I'm Brian LeVar, and this is Masters of the Zodiac.
Follow Brian on Instagram and Twitter at BRYLAVAR.